In 1482, relations between England and Scotland were fraught with tension and hostility. The Battle of Banbridge took place on April 28th, one of the most important military confrontations between English and Scottish forces. This battle was not just a struggle for territory, but an expression of national identity and the long-standing conflict between the two countries. In the English camp, the atmosphere reflected excitement, mixed with anxiety. The leaders gathered under the banner of King Edward IV, where plans and strategies were made. Weapons were sharpened, flags were raised, and all the eyes of the soldiers were turned north, where the enemy awaited them. In contrast, the Scottish forces under Douglas were gathering at Banbridge. The atmosphere reflected determination and resolve, as the soldiers were ready to defend their land. The Scottish flags danced in the wind, declaring their loyalty to the country. As the sun rose, the battle began. English soldiers advanced towards the Scottish lines, swords crossing. War cries filled the air as the battle broke out suddenly, leaving behind the smell of blood and gunpowder. Both sides traded blows bravely, with the English forces seeking control while the Scots tried to defend their territory. The conflict was fierce, with each sword strike reflecting the fate of the battle. Armor gleamed in the sun, while blood dripped on the ground. Despite the English numerical superiority, the Scottish commanders showed skill in using the terrain to their advantage. Innovative tactics were implemented to delay the English advance. These were tense moments as each side sought to control the course of the battle. In the midst of the battle, there were many heroic moments. One Scottish soldier, considered a local hero, braved danger and faced a group of Englishmen single-handedly. His courage inspired his comrades as he continued to fight against all odds. As time passed, the battle began to take a new turn. The Scottish forces put up a strong resistance, confusing the English. The pressure on the English forces began to increase, and signs of anxiety appeared in their ranks. Thanks to their courage and effective tactics, the English ranks began to disintegrate. The Scots seized the opportunity and rushed forward, causing the English camp to collapse. This was a decisive moment, as their victories in the battle were confirmed. As the battle ended, the victory was on the Scottish side. Celebrations began to spread throughout the place, as the soldiers shouted patriotic songs and chants. It was a historic moment, as the Scots regained their resolve. The Battle of Banbridge was a sign of Scottish resistance to English occupation. It profoundly affected relations between the two countries, increasing the intensity of the conflict and deepening the gap between them. The battle was a reminder that the desire for freedom cannot be easily broken. Each side learned important lessons from the battle. The English understood the importance of planning and relying on numbers alone, while the Scots grew in national pride. This battle was a turning point in the history of the conflict between the two countries. Over time, the Battle of Banbridge has become a symbol of national courage. It is remembered in books as one of the most important battles that shaped Scottish history. It embodied the belief of the Scottish people in their ability to defend their land and identity. The Battle of Banbridge is over, but its effects live on in the memory of history. It was an embodiment of the human struggle for freedom, proving that strength and determination can overcome challenges.